Alright, so in this video we're going to take a look at Mr. Wonderful's OUSA. So that's the ticker symbol for the O'Shares U.S. Quality Dividend ETF. So we're looking for quality, low beta, that's your low volatility, and some dividend growth. So they're looking for, this is an active fund, they're looking for strong balance sheets, profitability. When they're saying they reduce risk of yield traps, they're avoiding dividend cuts or suspensions. So you're looking for, lower payout ratios. So it was incepted back in 2015 and pays distributions monthly. And this fund's a little expensive. I understand it's active, but we're just putting too much gas in Kevin's boat. And if we haven't learned anything, it's a little news article over here, if anyone recalls. We got to stop putting gas in Kevin's boat. Sell this fund. I'm going to give you a couple different ideas. So, sectors, we're in tech, we're in healthcare, we're in finance, consumer discretionary. Those are your top four. They seem to make up a decent chunk of the fund. And you're going to be owning a lot of great companies. Microsoft, Home Depot, Apple, Merck, Johnson & Johnson, McDonald's, T-Rowe, Texas Instruments. They're just, your name brand companies. Like, these are just blue chip companies. I can tell you right now, this fund just isn't going to rock the boat. When you're looking at dividends, like when I hear the word this company pays a solid dividend, they're done growing. They're a fully established company. And when a company pays a dividend, instead of saying, oh, I love this dividend, think to yourself, maybe there's another company. Because when a corporation pays a dividend, basically what that means is they don't know what the hell to do with your money. They don't know how to make their company grow, so they say, hey, you know what, we're going to pay you some of your money back, out of the profits we made, because we think you know a better place to put your money than we do. So at that point, you can't always go growth. Dividend stocks are there when you think there's a downturn coming, or you're in one. It's all right to shift a growth fund to a dividend fund if you're spooked a little bit, because I'd rather you stay invested. It's all about time in the market, not timing the market. So if keeping you at, let's say, a 60-40 portfolio and switching a growth fund to a dividend fund, and if that, keeps you happy, that's what I want to do. You got to keep your risk tolerance, especially during a downturn. If anything, you should be increasing your risk tolerance during a downturn. Buy the dip. No one wants to, though. All right, so let's look at the performance. It hasn't been around too long, since 2015, but we got a pretty decent 1 year at 11.5% almost 12 in the 3 year, just under 10 on the 5 year. So, just looking at this, quickly, not comparing to anything. It's basically your S&P 500. There's your since inception. You're getting your 10%. We're just giving Kevin a lot more fees for the gas for his boat. Let's stop. Going to the next page. Nothing too important here. Transparency, daily disclosure of holdings. That's everyone. So, let's take a look at a couple more funds. We're going to compare OUSA to DGRW and Moat. I showed you Moat the other day. So when we compare these, we can look back to, when is that, 2015. So DGRW, dividend rate in the name, no one really talks about it. Same idea, dividend growth. This is the Wisdom Tree U.S. Quality Dividend Growth ETF, DGRW. Take a look, no one talks about it. Moat's a little better. I just prefer Moat. Same idea, just using, factor investing, taking a look at more than just dividends. So the OUSA, if we put 100 grand in there, you'd have 200 grand. How long is that? 8 years later, not bad. Now, if we put 100 grand in Wisdom Trees, DGRW, you'd have $250,000. Not bad at all. And then if you have Moat, put in 100 grand in Morningstar, the Morningstar wide Moat, you'd have 300,000. So basically, I'm a big fan of Moat. It's definitely a great substitution for your basic S&P 500 fund. And it has a compound annual growth rate, in this in this one at almost 16%. Now, we'll give Kevin a little bit of credit here. He had the lowest standard deviation. I mean, that's what a dividend ETF is supposed to do. It's not supposed to be as volatile as a QQQ or any growth fund, SCHG, VUG. Those are always going to be more volatile. And I already said it. If putting you in a dividend fund, when you think the market's going down or while the market's going down, keeps you invested, that's great, because I find people are just too hesitant to jump back in the market when timing it. And that's just going to make your life, if you're saving for retirement, harder, or, if you're living in retirement doing that, it's just not going to be as fun. You're not going to have as much money to pay yourself out. So hopefully, this video quickly shows you that, dividends aren't the be-all, end-all. Every time I see Kevin on the TV, he's got to sprinkle in the word dividend. Just like every YouTuber. Maybe that's where they got it. But dividends are just established blue chip companies. They're kind of done growing. They're at the end of their era. Companies do disappear. Look at Tupperware. They're just like shit in the bed. I made a lot of money off them a few years ago, though, when I bought the dip and during COVID. You just have to understand that big companies can die.